Welcome to Thinking Outside the Soil with your host, Johnny Alfalfaseed, where we get to talk story and touch on topics about hydroponics and the farmers who grow the crops and creatures we need to eat. Good morning, and hello from Blooming Health Farms. Thank you for being with me on this beautiful day. The sun is just rising, and I love seeing the light come up, and our clouds out there are this crisp pink color as the light goes from dark to light blue. I am excited to be here with you at the beginning of season 5. We are running as fast as we can here at Blooming Health Farms, and there is a lot that's been going on this past winter. I realized that the episodes from season 4 weren't being posted. So those of you out there who have been following the show, you will likely see that there was a massive dump of shows over the course of a few days. And that's because there was something that wasn't set up properly, and I thought all of those were going in. I was attempting to switch over to a new platform at one point and didn't quite pull that trigger. So I recognize that I may not have done something properly, but I have all those shows up there for you. So do go and binge all of those shows. Leave me some comments and reviews and let me know what's been going on. I would love to hear what your thoughts are or hear some of your feedback on what you've enjoyed or maybe not have enjoyed thus far on Thinking Outside the Soil. Now, I mentioned that I have been very busy. We have recently taken on a pretty high ticket client near Wheatland, Wyoming, and I want to share a little bit about that with you. This show was initially conceived to talk about the farmers and ranchers who are using hydroponics to become better stewards, to become better farmers, to improve their bottom line, to get better products. And a lot of this show was started on the premise that hydroponics is really great for those that are ranching or raising animals. And we've had a lot of success and been building our customer base through our seed and feed solutions that we have here at Blooming Health Farms. Our sprouting mix is just a hit. We have several people that are loving it and buying it on a regular basis. And the feed that we feature from New Country Organics is great for those that have hens or, roosters. It's also really great for anyone with livestock. A few of our customers have goats, they have rabbits, they have horses. A lot of our customers have horses. And they are able to get some of the products they need or the supplements they need from us as well. So it feels really great. So first and foremost, I must thank those of you out there that have supported us so far. It's those sales that really help move the mission at Blooming Health Farms forward. We are able to build our revenue through the sales of our products and our services, like selling feed and seed and taking on high ticket clients. So this client up in Wheatland, Wyoming is fascinating, and I want to tell you so much about that, but for the context of today's show, I'm going to keep it short and simple, and then next week, or rather next episode, I will elaborate on some of that. Now, you may have caught a bit of an intro in last season, but I also recognize that some of those shows didn't go out to the public when I thought they were. So I will recap a bit of what's on in that show. I did an episode while we were driving up to the facility and talk a little bit more about that. So go back and listen to that episode. I've dropped the link in the show notes so that you could just go right there and hear more about that. We are working out of this rather large facility. And when I say we, I mean Blooming Health Farms. And in reality, we're still relatively small staff. So basically, it's me and one kid that I have that we've hired on, one of the at-risk youth. His name is Junior. And now that's not actually his legal name, but that's what we go by. We go by Junior. He has gone up there to Wheatland with me to harvest some microgreens. So right now, we are helping a client establish a production aquaponics farm. He has built a customized farm out of multiple shipping containers. And let me tell you, you must imagine something completely different when you think of just a simple shipping container. Now, this gentleman has very carefully and craftfully taken 14 shipping containers. Yeah, 14 shipping containers and stacked them and arranged them in a way where each shipping container is an individual farm unit. So for example, one of the shipping containers has all of the aquaponics tanks and the filters in it. Another container has a lot of hydroponic grow out space. Another container has a commercial kitchen so we can cook that food. Another container has a weld shop so you can do some welding and do any of the fabrication that you might need on that side. There's also another container that has a machine shop. Another container has a gourmet mushroom farm so we can grow out some of those like those oysters or those lion's manes or other, exquisite, rare mushrooms. One of the areas there is a tack room for their horses. So there's a few stalls, and then there's the actual tack room for all the saddles and the whatnot. And there is an area underneath glass, or rather it's the clear, thick plastic, that we are growing as an indoor greenhouse. There's also a few other containers that have been used one's for his office, one is for his girlfriend's private workshop area, and there are units that have the water treatment system and all of the electrical stuff that they need. There's also two root cellars actually. So this unit is fascinating. Now, Nico originally built this system to the best of his ability and needed a little help to get his water quality under control. He wasn't able to really get his pH to where he wanted it to, and he wasn't getting good growth from his plants when he started up. So he was looking for someone that really knew what they needed to do to get plants growing to have healthy fish. I went up there and immediately saw more potential than I could ever imagine. And we are now on the path to prove out the production model for this system. So we originally got the water quality all buttoned down, and I told Nico that we need to prove out the produce that we can grow here. So we got to start test cropping, marketing the produce, and getting it into restaurants and other stores, get this stuff cranking up. Now, one of the challenges with where we're at is we are actually kind of in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming. Yes, most of Wyoming is in the middle of nowhere. And if you don't know where Wyoming is, that's probably because it's in the middle of nowhere. Or rather, if you don't know where Wheatland is, Wyoming is clearly findable on a map. However, we are able to transport some of those products down to the more posh areas in northern Colorado and Greeley. So we've been able to start to tease out some of those things. Right now, we have a few customers in Greeley, Colorado that have a couple local restaurants. There's a local eatery here that is interested in picking up some of our produce, so I can't quite call them out until they are a customer. But there is a juice bar here in town, and I never expected a juice bar to take so fondly to what we're trying to do. But the coolest thing about this juice bar is it is in downtown Greeley, Colorado, right across the street from the Weld County Courthouse. So I tend to think that the world is winking in our favor. God tends to wink or help you out when you're chasing your dreams. So I tend to think that this juice bar is going to be something really neat and unexpected. They love our sunflower microgreens. They were extremely enthusiastic about the pea shoots that I brought in. And she was like, yeah, I am ready to rock and roll and order more of whatever it is that you've got up there. One of the great things about the produce and products that we make is that we do our best to adhere to better than organic standards, better than the USDA organic standards, which means we do everything that we need to do for USDA organic and then go above and beyond and reduce the amount of any pesticides or herbicides or any of those products that we may need to use that have been shown to have some potential side effects, even though they are regularly used in those things. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we don't simply need those things. It doesn't have to do with our philosophy or some value or moral that we are in agreement or disagreement with is that we simply don't need to use pesticides or those other things in our system. We have fish in a tank, eating some of the best food in the world. Yeah, I say that with a little bit of bias, just so you know. I love shredding. They're eating this amazing feed and producing a really high quality produce because everything that's going in there is utilized by the plants, by the system, by the bacteria in there. My favorite part of doing what I get to do, about talking about the benefits and the excitement, is really seeing others achieve the results that they ultimately want as well. What I love seeing are restaurants succeeding because they're able to find the things they need and deliver the value to their customers. What I also love seeing is my client go take this dream of an aquaponics wonderland and have it come to life. And not just as a bare bones skeleton that's not living in the middle of nowhere, but as a living building that is growing fish and growing some of the best food that he's ever put in his mouth. So please do go back to season 4 and listen to those episodes if you have not had a chance to listen to those. So my subscribers out there, I know for sure that you guys will be interested in those as well. But I am excited to get season 5 ready to rock and roll. Happy New Year to you. Happy winter New Year to us in the Northern Hemisphere. I hope your summer is continuing to be great for those of you down there in the Southern Hemisphere. Though that is all I have for today's episode. If you want to know more about how farmers have been using hydroponic fodder, check out the previous episodes on thinking outside the soil. And as a special gift to you as my listener, I have left some goodies in the show notes. There are a lot of links to the previous episodes as mentioned, and there's also a free gift. So go check that out. And while you're there, leave me a review and hit that subscribe button so you get more of the show. And that is all I have.
Hey, before you go, check out the links below. And if you'd be so kind as to leave a rating and review and follow the show. For those with feathered friends, don't forget to get yourself some of our Blooming Health Farms Chicken Blend Sprouting Mix. This supplemental mix has been shown to give you some of the best eggs with the yummiest yolks. You'll have happy, healthy hens that abandon the feeder and give you eggs with high levels of vitamin A and omega fatty acids. So don't forget to get yourself some Blooming Health Farms Chicken Blend Sprouting Mix.